How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Sick Eric Tech, where we like to keep tech simple. So today we're going to be talking about the OnePlus 13r. So I've been using this device for about 5 days already, and I have to say it is fantastic. So this device is coming at about $599. You could probably get it for $500 depending on the trade-ins, and it did come with the Watch 2R, so that's quite nice. So 5 days I've been using the 13R, and I have to say this is OnePlus's most refined design ever. They have tried some new things in the past, especially with that, I believe is the OnePlus 7T with the circular camera, and then they went back and forth. Now we're back to the circular camera, but with these flat edges on here. So this thing feels really nice, and it doesn't really feel like a OnePlus device. It feels more like a Galaxy device, especially the Galaxy S24 lineup, because those have flat sides. The Pixel 9s have the flat sides as well. So that's what this feels like when it's in the hand. And this color is actually quite nice. This is the Astral Trail color. And I don't know if you can see it, but there are swirls going around the edges, or the back right here, etched onto the glass. So that's really nice, and it's a very nice design. OnePlus really outdid it with the design of the OnePlus 13R. So just getting some of the specs out of the way, as far as the body goes, it is covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 7i, and does have an aluminum frame, so it does feel nice and premium, and that's really nice. It weighs at about 7.27 ounces. So it's a fairly light device, not too heavy. So that's good. IP65, waterproof and dustproof, not quite IP68. But for most people, I think that'll be just fine. Compared to last year's 12R, which was IP64, I think that is definitely an upgrade. The display on here, absolutely fantastic. We now get a flat display on the OnePlus 13R, which a lot of people might like. For me, I really don't mind, but you don't get that glare on the curves like you do on a curved display, where you get that reflection on the sides. You don't get that here, so that's really good. It is an LTPO AMOLED display, which means it can dial down when you're not using it, and the screen goes static all the way down to, I believe, 1 Hertz or 30 Hertz, which is what I've been getting on here. So that's really good. It does support 120 Hertz, HDR10 Plus, Dolby Vision, HDR Vivid, and does get a peak brightness of 4500 nits. Now that is in certain conditions. 6.78 inches of pure goodness with this fantastic display. Resolution of 1264 by 2780, so just above 1080p and below 1440p, but still fantastic. Who's going to know the difference? I think this is a nice sweet spot. Rather than giving us 1080p, you should just give us a resolution like this. And this device is running Android 15 out of the box, so really nice when it comes down to the customizations up here. You get the whole Android 15 look on here with the Oxygen OS 15, and it definitely changes things up a bit when it comes down to the aesthetics and the design of everything when it comes down to the OnePlus 13R and all of other OnePlus devices. Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of internal storage. And I have to say that the performance on here has been quite nice when it comes down to the performance of the OnePlus 13R. Now, is it faster or any better than the 12R? I would say they're about the same. The 12R comes with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, and the cool thing is about OnePlus devices is that no matter which device you get, they're all going to be buttery smooth when it comes down to performance. OnePlus has definitely nailed it over the years when it comes down to the smoothness, to the animations of their devices. They have really nailed things when it comes down to smoothness of OnePlus devices. It's really nice, no issues whatsoever. When it comes down to performance, the cameras on here are actually quite pleasing. I've definitely been impressed with the camera system of the OnePlus 13R. So you do get two 50 megapixel sensors. The main sensor is going to be a Sony LYT 700 sensor, and that's going to be your main sensor. It does support PDAF and optical image stabilization. You get the second 50 megapixel, which is the Samsung JN5, and that is a telephoto lens. So you're able to zoom in all the way down to 2 times optical zoom, and then you could also do all the way up to 20 times, and that'll do digital zoom. But still, a telephoto lens finally on a mid-ranger OnePlus. No dinky macro lens or anything like that. And I think the telephoto actually does pretty good. It has no optical image stabilization, so you have to stay a little bit still when you're trying to take those zoomed in shots. Any movement will result in a blurry image, but still, I'm glad to see it on there. And then finally, the third camera is going to be your 8 megapixel ultra wide, which is gives you a 116 degree field of view, I believe. So not quite as wide. Actually, it's 112 degree field of view, so not as wide as your other devices, but still glad to see it. You can record up to 4K 60 frames per second. Front facing camera is going to be, there I am right there, front facing camera, 16 megapixels, but you could only record at 1080p 30 frames per second, which is kind of sad. One day OnePlus will give us 4K on their mid-ranger smartphones. But all right, so here we got the OnePlus 13r front facing footage, 1080p 30 frames per second. And yeah, even though it's 1080p, it still looks pretty good in my opinion. Quick pan around. Pictures on here, fan-freaking-tastic. Okay, this thing takes really nice shots. The OnePlus 12R took really nice shots when it came down to its cameras, but now we get that telephoto lens, which allows a little bit more zooming in, especially for those portrait shots that people are doing right now. You are able to get some nice shots on here. Video is actually quite nice, front-facing video. You can do portrait video if you were to dial down the depth of field over here, and this will give you portrait video, which is a really nice feature, and it looks pretty good at 1080p. I can't lie. The video on here is going to be just fine for the average user. Great point and shoot camera with the OnePlus 12R. You get your pro mode for all of your settings right here. You get your video, photo, portrait, night, and then you get more, which is going to be your high res, pano, movie, slow motion, time lapse, long exposure, dual video, which will record the front and the back. You get your dock scanner and your tilt shift. So a lot of different options when it comes down to the cameras of the OnePlus 13, and I am not disappointed with the performance of these cameras. So one thing that you do not get that you got on the OnePlus 12R is going to be Dolby Atmos. Now they do have some features on here when it comes down to your sounds and vibrations. If you click on more, actually, where is it at? Sound effects, here we go. You do get some options when it comes down to smart, movie, gaming, and music, but you do not get Dolby Atmos. Kind of a bummer. I really like Dolby Atmos, but for me, audio quality on here has been really good. Bluetooth, the speakers, we're going to go ahead and check those out. The speakers are actually, they're pretty good. They're not the best out there, but they'll get the job done. So let's go ahead and take a listen to those speakers, shall we? Alright, so what did you guys think of the speaker quality of the OnePlus 13? I think they sound pretty good, and they'll definitely get the job done. Really loud, and definitely get the music across. So you're going to get Bluetooth 5.4 on here, and like I said earlier, Bluetooth connectivity has been fantastic. No disconnects. I could walk away listening with Bluetooth headphones. I could walk away from this device and go into another room, and it'll still be connected. So a lot of other devices are definitely weak in the Bluetooth area. This one is definitely going to do just fine. The signal for 5G is actually quite nice. I find myself in 4G sometimes, but it's just where I work, there's a bad signal in there. But for most of the time, actually 5G is quite nice. The speeds are actually really good on here, so no connectivity issues. Calling for calls actually quite clear as well, so that's pretty good. No issues when it comes down to connectivity with the OnePlus 13R. I am running this off of T-Mobile, so keep that in mind. T-Mobile runs absolutely great on the OnePlus 13R. So battery life on here, battery life has been fantastic. This comes with a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. Now this is using a new technology, which is going to be the silicon carbon battery technology, which gives it more density but keeps the size the same apparently. So you're able to get a higher milliamps without increasing the size of the battery. And this is a single battery. The OnePlus 13 comes with a dual cell battery, so same technology, just not as fancy. You're going to get 80-watt wired charging is what this device can go up to, but the charger in the box is going to be a 50, I believe it's a 54-watt charger, so it does dumb it down here in the States for some reason. But if you use your charger from your 12R, you are able to get those full speeds charging on the OnePlus 13R. Unfortunately, there is no wireless charging on here. Not really a huge deal breaker for me, but for some people it might. I mean, you get devices like the Motorola Edge 2024 that's way cheaper than the OnePlus 13R, coming in at about $300, and this does have wireless charging, so that's kind of crazy that OnePlus should have included wireless charging on the OnePlus 13R. You do get an IR blaster, so that's really good. You can control your TVs, your Blu-ray players, and other things like that, so that's really nice. You don't see that on a lot of devices. You get the classic mute slider, so you can slide between vibrate, silent, and ring, so that's really good. And you do get your little animation up there. Definitely a OnePlus favorite right here with that alert slider on the OnePlus 13R. Like I said, this is the Astral Trail color. It does come in a Nebula Noir color, which is going to be pretty much a flat black color. Really nice and smooth. They did stray away from the shiny backs like you see here on the OnePlus 12R, so that is definitely a nice improvement. Less fingerprints. I've been rocking this without a case, only because finding a case is kind of a pain in the butt right now. Amazon has a few. I did order a case, but it's not coming to the 29th, and I ordered this before I even got the device. And yeah, it's taking forever. I was supposed to be having a case delivered today, but hopefully it comes. I mean, depending on the weather, it's supposed to have we're supposed to get a winter storm here in Texas, and yeah, definitely not looking forward to that. But rocking without a case, been holding up pretty well. No scratches, no dings on here. I took the screen protector off, and that's been holding up pretty well as well. No scratches on the screen, and like I said, I really don't rock screen protectors on my devices, and I do go naked sometimes and just carry around a phone like this. I've been doing this for this past 5 days, and it's been holding up like a champ. So battery life on here, sorry I got a little bit distracted. So battery life, a full day of usage is what I've been getting. You don't even have to charge it at night. You could wake up and still get another maybe less than half a day of usage before you will have to charge this. So 6,000 milliamps on here. I was expecting a little more, but I think that's pretty darn good. A full day and then some overnight, and then waking up and it's just going along your day. And when you do have to charge this, you'll get fast charging speeds. You could charge this thing in well under an hour and you'll be ready to go. Plug this in really quick for like 30 minutes and you'll be topped off. So that's really nice. Battery life has been fantastic on the 13R. A little bit better than the 12R. The 12R actually had really good battery life. That came with a 5,500 milliamp hour battery. And the OnePlus 13 is just a little bit better. Not a lot better, but just a little bit better than the 12R with that battery life. So using the OnePlus 13R has been fantastic these 5 days. I'm working on a camera review with the 12R to show you guys the differences between the cameras. So stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I will be posting that video up sometime this week. and that will show off the camera capabilities of both of these devices, see which one does better, if you should upgrade or if you should not. So thank you guys for watching this video on the OnePlus 13R. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and I will see you here on next time on Sick Air Tech, where we like to keep tech simple. Peace.